What's up YouTube, it's your boy Nasher. Welcome back to the channel. Now before we get started with the very first, I believe this is the first episode of WWE's biggest issue of the new year. Just want to give you guys a reminder that we are now officially 218 subs away from hitting 500 subs. And I have said this before, and I will always say it. If you guys are new to the channel, and I know that a lot of you guys are, because practically 100% of you guys are watching the content, but you guys are not even subscribed. And to top it all off, we gotta get more women to watch the content as well. So if you guys are watching the content, you like the content, and you want more of the content, but you guys have not subscribed as of yet, then make sure you guys do indeed subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, smash that thumbs up button on this video, and as always, make sure you guys are following me on all of my social media. All of my ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And I want you guys to post in the comments below answering the question of the day, which basically ties with this week's episode. But the question of the day is this: are you guys happy that Tiffany Stratton cashed in Money in the Bank to become the new WWE Women's Champion? Let me know down in the comments below. And for this week's episode, it is indeed Tiffy time, as we saw this past Friday on SmackDown, that Tiffany Stratton cashed in Money in the Bank to win the WWE Women's title off of the hands of Nia Jax. And what's interesting about this is that this had been brewing for months, right? The idea of Tiffany Stratton cashing in on Nia, this had been brewing for months. And what I find, and what's interesting is that Nia Jax had always wanted Tiffany to cash in on Liv Morgan, which actually kind of dated back a few months, when it was announced that Liv Morgan and Nia Jax would face each other for the right to become the first ever women's crown jewel champion. Which, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, Nia could have won, but I think Liv Morgan winning, I think made a lot more sense. I think just because of the fact that just because of the fact that with the amount of championships that Liv Morgan has held in WWE, winning the tag team titles I think three times in her career, the SmackDown Women's title, the Women's World title, winning Money in the Bank, all of that. I think that experience was what gave her the edge to fend off against Nia Jax. But what's interesting is that now that Tiffany Stratton is now the WWE Women's Champion, she needs a challenger. But the question is, who will step up to the center of the universe as her first challenger? Honestly, there is a lot of talent that's on SmackDown right now. There's B-Fat, there's Bayley, Bianca Belair, Blair Davenport, Candice LeRae, Chelsea Green, the first ever women's U.S. champion, Elektra Lopez. I would say Jade Cargill, but she's still out with an injury, and apparently the rumors have still been spreading that apparently all eyes are on Bianca Belair or Naomi. Not sure if it's one of them, but we'll have to wait and see over time. Michin, Naomi, obviously now the former champion Nia Jax, Piper Niven, and that's about it. Literally, just that's it. So between them, there's a lot to consider, right? You look at each of these women individually, and you ask yourself, are they capable of going toe to toe with someone like Tiffany Stratton? Well, first up, you got BFAB. Obviously, yes, she did get herself involved in the WWE Women's Speed Championship tournament recently, being given a second chance. But obviously, she did not make the best of it as she lost to Natalia. But aside from that, she was even also in the women's U.S. title tournament several weeks ago. I think she literally did not make it past the first round. Literally did not make to the second round, unfortunately. But did it prove that she is deserving of being a champion? 100%, 100%. BFAB definitely has. Excuse me. Sorry about that, guys. She has that potential, but it comes down to how she can approach that potential. And I think the way to approach it is to put her focus less on the Street Profits and more so on her own career. Don't get me wrong, Bobby Lashley did an amazing job bringing BFAB and the Profits together. He did an amazing job, 100%. And I think WrestleMania last year in Philly was their big moment, if you will. It was their big chance to show the world what they can be capable of if they were champions. Honestly, you can't go wrong with someone like BFAB. Then of course you got Bayley. Obviously Bayley has held more championships in a year than any one person would in a decade. And that's saying a lot. But knowing her, she always wants to make history, right? She wants to make a little more history and be, as she always calls herself, a role model to the entire WWE universe. And I think regaining the women's title is definitely that massive big step. But right now, the only thing that she's focused on is just being a role model, plain simple. Then of course there's Bianca Belair. Obviously, interestingly enough, when she won the title in that triple threat match at SummerSlam, what was it, a couple years ago in 2023. She lost the title via the Money in the Bank briefcase, but never got her one-on-one rematch. So I feel like now would be the perfect time for her to get that one-on-one rematch and regain what she believes was something that she never lost, which is obviously the WWE Women's title. Then of course you got Blair Davenport. Obviously, yes, Blair is a bit of a sleeper, I guess, if you will. Do I believe that her call up to the main roster was the right call? Absolutely. But was it early? Was it too early? And the answer is yes. I feel like if she stayed in NXT for a little longer, she probably would have become either the NXT Women's Champion or the NXT Women's North American Champion, and she probably would have went over to SmackDown with one of those accolades under her belt. And I think that probably would have given her that chance to to be a champion on the main roster, but I think she still has a lot of proving to do. Then of course you got Candice LeRae. I don't know. A part of me is thinking that she could challenge, but the only issue is that when she was in NXT, she had a couple opportunities at the NXT Women's title, but she failed miserably, simply because of the fact that there's a lot of fans who don't see that potential in her. They don't see her as championship material, aside from the women's speed championship, and that's it. So is it possible that Candice LeRae could win the title? Yes, it is very possible that she could challenge Tiffany and win the title. But the problem that I have is that if she did that, Nia Jax would probably tell her, hand it over. It's my title. I want it. Literally that's what could end up happening. And then of course, Chelsea Green. Don't get me wrong, she 100% deserved to be the first ever women's US champion, but imagine how much history she could make if she became the first woman to hold both the women's US title and the WWE women's title. That right there is just something to think about. Speaking of Blair Davenport and sleepers, Elektra Lopez. I feel like she, don't get me wrong, she has so much talent. She's got all the talent in the world, so much and a lot of potential. But lately, she's just been more of a manager, if you will, rather than a competitor. And I think that's always been her biggest downfall, especially since coming over to the main roster. That's always been her big downfall, was just being a manager. And every time she would compete in a match on the main roster, literally she would just fail. She would lose every single time. So I don't know. I think she should just stick to being a manager, but that's just my opinion anyway. I would say there's Michin, but she has her eyes set on the women's US title, so she's out of the picture. We already saw Naomi challenge for the title this past Friday on SmackDown. And then of course you've got Nia Jax, who definitely is owed a rematch. And then you got Piper Niven, who is more so focused on helping Chelsea Green retain the women's US title, but that's like pretty much it. So the question is, who do I see becoming the first challenger for that women's title? If it came down to three, I would probably have to say Nia Jax, Bayley, and Blair Davenport. And the reason for Nia, obviously, again, she's owed a rematch for the title. Excuse me. And I have no doubt in my mind that Nia Jax is going to be pissed this Friday on SmackDown, and will want to tear Tiffany's head off. So that right there would be a very interesting matchup. Now Blair Davenport, she, again, I said it before, she has all the potential in the world, but she's become more of a sleeper, if you will, rather than someone to be feared. You know. So if you were to compare her to her time in NXT UK, to her time in NXT on US soil, and then to her time on the main roster, interestingly enough, Blair was actually a huge threat from her time in NXT UK than she is now. So I could totally see her making her way up back to the top and potentially challenging for that title. And I think I said Bailey. Yeah, I believe I said Bailey. I think given the fact that she wants to make a little more history, I think that right there proves it. I think it's more so the fact that she wants to make history. She wants to become a moment maker, and she doesn't want to walk into a PLE like WrestleMania as a challenger. She wants to walk into a PLE like WrestleMania as a champion. But at this stage now, the moment Monday Night Raw airs tonight on Netflix, the moment it airs, it's officially the road to WrestleMania, and it comes down to one question of whether or not Tiffany Stratton can hang on to the title until then. And as crazy as it sounds, I think she can. But as far as who will be her first challenger heading into the Royal Rumble, 100%, it definitely has to be between those three, Blair, Nia, and Bailey. It has to be Nia. She needs to get her rematch for that title, and I think at this state, this version of Nia Jax without the title, pissed off and wanting to rip someone's head off, is a dangerous Nia Jax. So Tiffany Stratton needs to keep her head on a swivel, if you will. But I'm very curious of who you guys believe should step up to Tiffany Stratton and the WWE Women's title. Let me know down in the comments below. And that'll do it for this week's episode of WWE's Biggest Issue. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel and you guys want more episodes of WWE's Biggest Issue in the future, then make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and as always, make sure you guys are following me on all of my social media. All of my @s will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.